Hey guys, Trevor with Shadow Systems. It's Technical Tuesday, and I have Alex with us. So Alex is one of our assemblers. You've been here for
4 months.
4 months, and prior to that, you were a Marine. All right, so we've got a lot of that here, by the way, in case you're curious. We've got quite a few veterans and former LE guys and stuff, so it's a pretty cool team, kind of rambunctious at times. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about the assembly of an optics ready slide for an MR920 pistol, or actually any pistol that features the new Shadow Systems patent pending optic cut. So I had done a video a while back kind of explaining it and showing how to put it together, and basically I learned that I was doing it the hard way. So we have assemblers back there cranking out guns, and I can guarantee you that if there's a faster, better, higher quality way of doing something, they're going to find it. And so the video that you saw before of me struggling with a screwdriver was apparently the wrong way. So I've asked Alex to join us today, and he's going to walk us through assembly of the optic system. So why don't we take a look here real quick, and first I'll just show you. I mean, when I was doing this, I used a small screwdriver to grab the spring and hold it to the rear and drop the pin in, which is doable, but is not apparently the easiest way. So walk us through this, and before we do, real quick, the components of the slide that you see here. The parts that are really different in the optic system, of course, are the extractor related components. You've got the extractor itself. It's actually not different, sorry. The tensioning components are what's different. You've got the extractor depressor plunger assembly, which is much shorter. Conventional one would come out about this long. So it features the spring-loaded bearing, the spring, and then the much more condensed plunger itself. There's also a tensioning pin, which holds this in place. And then after that, the components are basically the same as what you would normally see. Extractor, the firing pin safety spring and firing pin safety, and then there's the complete firing pin assembly with the spacer sleeve, firing pin spring, and spring cups. And then over here we have the cover plates for the slide. I guess we'll go ahead and install that one as we go through this. Okay, so why don't you kind of slowly show us your process for installing these components. All right, so first up is the firing pin assembly.
So you're going to stick the firing pin assembly now into the correct spot, but you don't want to seat it all the way down yet. You don't want to cover up that this firing pin safety hole.
Right.
Then you're going to prep your safety, safety spring into the safety.
Yep.
And then you're going to place it in.
Yep.
And then while it's all the way depressed, push down fully seat the firing pin, and it should hold it into place.
Yeah, so basically by doing it that way, you're just retaining this and you're getting it out of the equation.
Correct.
You go. Okay, cool.
Then we'll begin with the little plunger assembly. So first in, you're going to have that the actual plunger making contact with the extractor. So you want the other end to go in first.
Right, and we install these on the optics ready slides from this side. That's actually kind of the easiest way to do it. You normally would install a plunger assembly from the back of the slide, but it's basically closer to its final resting position if you put it in from this side, so that's why he did it that way.
It's just much easier.
Yeah.
You're going to depress the safety as well as placing in the extractor. Pretty simply, it goes right in.
Okay, now this is the secret sauce part. So this next part is where I kind of was doing it the hard way. They have a trick for how to tension that assembly that's pretty slick. So why don't you show us that?
So we have an Allen key that you can just depress the plunger in, take your pin, seat it in the gap that you created. You kind of want to hold it there with your thumb while pushing down at the same time. Release on that Allen key a little bit while you're pushing, and then just kind of push and pull at the same time, and you'll get it fully seat, or at least flush with the top. But to fully seat it, just push a little bit and you're set. So
that was a 5/64 Allen key that he used there. So that's a commonly available tool, and that's a pretty easy way of doing that. So why don't we do this? Why don't you finish the assembly, put the cover plate on, show us that, and then we'll take it apart and do it again.
Slide it in, do a little rail system, push down the firing pin, and then just fully seat it.
Okay, cool. Very easy. All right, let's do a disassembly. So yeah, you can use any kind of punch to do the actual, the first disassembly step. So why don't you roll it over so they can see that.
So you're going to press down on the little plastic end and then push up over here to release the tension, and then just pull out. Easy day.
Yep.
Move firing pin. You need a little tiny little magazine catch rod will work.
Yeah, so he's using the magazine catch spring as a punch. Roll it over for a second.
Yes.
So you can use kind of any small diameter punch to push through that hole right there. That's the hole that leads to the pin on the back. So by using this, he's able to push the pin out from below and remove it. So why don't you show us that?
So you're just going to push through until it shoots out.
Okay.
You just remove it. And then all that tension should be gone, so now you can pull out the extractor.
Yep. You may have to shift it. There's an application for our screwdriver. You can push that out of the way.
You can.
Yeah. So you pull the extractor out. It's hanging up a little bit. These guns are obviously parts are brand new, so they're fitting together a little tight.
And just remove. And then you can use your Allen key if you need to
push it out.
Just push out the other end.
Okay. Yeah, and it's easiest to work from that end because sometimes all the machining in this area can leave like a little tiny burr somewhere back in the channel, and that can just make it difficult to get the spring out. So it's obviously easiest just to operate from the front side of the slide when you're putting it in and out. Obviously, one step we didn't show here too, just so everybody's aware, is there is a channel liner in there as well. So if you're you should always expect there to be a channel liner in your slide. Okay, so why don't you go through that real quick for us one more time?
All right, again, from the top, firing pin. Again, not fully seated all the way. Pull it back just so you can get that channel clear. Firing pin safety and spring. In the hole as well. Depress, push in, and it should stay by itself. Place in the plunger assembly with the plunger facing the extractor.
Yeah, that's an important point. So make sure that you've got the plastic end that way and the metal end this way.
Yes. Depress safety, place in the extractor. It should be a snug fit, easy day. And then the tensioning pin. So we're going to start from this. Allen key again. You're going to depress, place in the tensioning pin, pull out, push in at the same time while pushing down the pin itself.
So it's just kind of a push-pull routine.
Yeah, so you can get the feel of it.
Yeah.
And then just set it all the way.
Okay, cool.
And for the last step, place in the channel, push down with your thumb, snap in.
Nice.
Good to go.
Nice work. So, a couple comments about this system if you haven't seen it before. One is that this essentially places the extractor assembly in the same location it would normally be. We've just sort of moved everything forward so that you can create space for these very, very deep screws that are kind of the key value to this system, which is these very long screws that enable multiple optics to fit without any kind of intervening plates and certainly stronger connection. And the other factor is too, some people sometimes ask, does the cover plate prevent the pin from coming out if you're shooting? And the reality is that no, you actually don't need the cover plate. There's enough tension on that pin so that it can be shot even if you don't have the cover plate on the top. So it's a very robust system. It's well established now as kind of being, I'll say, the best in the market. All right, well, thanks so much, Alex. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime.
And I guess we'll see you guys next week.